me turn this down so I don't get any copyright strikes against me. Okay. Hey Facebook, hey YouTube. All right, so now I need to share this out on YouTube. I mean, on the different platforms on Facebook, and then we'll be ready to go. How y'all doing today? How are y'all doing today? I hope you guys had a wonderful week. Where's my comment box? Okay, I have to go to the chat. There we go. All right. Clubhouse. I think y'all should be able to hear the music a little bit. You know, let that soothe y'all as I get this all set up. Actually, I don't think I need to share this out to any other group. And then I can just start my Instagram. All right. Can you copyright magic? All right. Here we go. All right. We are we are all set on all of our platforms. I am live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Clubhouse. Let me move this to the middle, and then I'll move this over here. Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. A wonderful week, I should say, since we haven't spoken since last Monday. I hope that One True Empress, hey girl, I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. Yeah, but we are here. We're gonna get started at 8:05. Share this out to anyone that you think might find this useful. As well, what else do we want to do? You know what I want to do? I want to. No, I didn't ask you to do that. Hold on, y'all. Technology is yet again trying to play me, but that's okay. Yay, I'm glad you made it. All right. Here we go. Perfect. And Clubhouse, y'all are right there. All right, guys. So we're going to get started in about 2 minutes. I have tons of stories for you today. I'm going to be talking about movies and the Olympics and hey Zephyrina. We're also going to be talking about Apple and Amazon taking an L, and some weird game called Magic the Gathering. DoorDash will be making an appearance. And Google Nest, a very interesting story about Google Nest. So I'm really excited about tonight. Oh, thank you, Zephyrina. Hey. I'm really excited about tonight's show. So everybody get ready. Grab your, drinks, snacks, paper, whatever you use to get you in the mood for the show. Grab that, because we're getting started very soon. And if you happen to be new, I will let you know what's going on here, so you know why you're here. Okay. Yeah. So yes. All right. I hate dead air. So whenever there's time left, I'm like, oh gosh, I gotta say something. Anyway, but it's 8:05, so we are starting, okay? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to NPL Legal Dish. This is my Monday broadcast where I teach. Hey, Dinero, Nia, or Nia and Dinero. This is my Monday broadcast where I teach business and legal concepts using pop culture and celebrity news. If you are new to this and this is your first time seeing my face or you're hearing my voice and you're wondering, who am I? I'm Natalie Pierre Lewis. I'm the host of the show, and I am the owner and operator of NPL Consulting LLC, a business formation firm. What that means is I help people like yourself get your business paperwork together. So things like making sure you have your articles of incorporation with the state, getting your EIN numbers and DUNS numbers, and coming in April, the SAM number, making sure you have appropriate contracts for clients and partners, intellectual property protection, meaning trademarks, copyrights, and patents, and hiring and training strategies so you don't get sued for discrimination. Okay, these are these things and more. These are things that I can help you with. If you're wondering why I'm qualified, I am a licensed attorney. I have been one for 15 years and counting. I've started multiple businesses for myself and others, both online and offline. I've had many careers in the realms of entrepreneurship, the law, education, hospitality, and administrative support. And most important, I am very passionate about making business and legal education as accessible to everyone as possible. Not everybody has the time, the money, or the desire to go to business school or to law school, but a lot of you have amazing business ideas, and if you're going to be successful, there are just some things that you need to know. There's no way around it, okay? So that's why I'm here, to make it more accessible. So if you're in the startup phase of your business and you don't know where to go, or if you've been in business for a little bit and you're like, I really need to make this official, or if you've been in business for a while but you've just been, operating, letting the wind take you, I want to help you, okay? Thank you. If you are a first-time client, you can book a free 15-minute consultation with me. You can go to linktr.ee/NPL Consulting Firm to do that. As well, you can download my free Biz Launch cheat sheet. It will help you choose and start your dream business in 7 days or less. It is a completely free download, okay? Linktree/NPL Consulting Firm is where you can connect with me, having to do, with everything I do. So my video trainings this month. Hey, Derek. This month we are focusing on, the numbers that you need for business. So we've been talking about EIN numbers and DUNS numbers. Today we're going to be talking about the SAM number. If there are any materials related to that, you will find that at linktree/NPL Consulting Firm. And if you want to connect with me on other platforms, that is also where the links to my YouTube and my other social media platforms are. Okay, so linktree/NPL Consulting Firm is where you can find everything having to do with me. And that leads me to our show and what we do here. Okay. So if you are new here, here is how the show works. I pull stories from the news, stories from blog sites, anywhere that I find inspiration, anything that I see that I feel like has a lesson that we can learn as business owners. I bring it here and we break down the facts and we talk about it, okay? So this is a time for you to ask questions. It's a time for you to give your comments, as long as they're respectful. Be nice, because my mom will watch the show. Uh, all right. And it's just more fun when we are all involved together. Okay. And my friends on Clubhouse, if you have something to say, please feel free to raise your hand. All right. So before we even get started on our stories, we are going to do our NPL Nugget. All right. If you're asking yourself, what is an NPL Nugget? An NPL Nugget is a quick business or legal concept that I teach in a minute or two. Like I said, we're focusing on your business numbers this month, your EIN numbers and DUNS numbers, but there is a new number that you're going to need to be familiar with if you are interested in becoming a federal contractor, right? Up until pretty much today, the federal government, they used your DUNS number as your identification number if you were ever applying for a federal contract. But starting on April 4th, 2022, so April of this year, you are going to need a SAM number. Hey, Alan Spain, the federal government has decided to, they don't want to go through Duns and Bradstreet anymore. They want to have their own unique entity identification number that they're calling SAM. If you already have a DUNS number, you can register with SAM and they'll issue you one. Or you can just go straight to the SAM website and get it, even if you don't have a DUNS number. But you should get a DUNS number. It's free. There's no reason not to have it. Okay. But yes, the SAM number, you're going to need that starting April 4th if you're interested in federal contracting, but you're still going to need your DUNS number for things like, getting your stuff into big box stores like Target to start establishing your business credit and be able to get business loans. Okay. So DUNS number is still very important, but your SAM number is also going to be important for those of you interested in, contracting with the government. All right. Okay, so now that we've gone through our NPL Nugget, it's time to get to our stories. It's time to get to our stories. Don't mind me, guys. All right. I asked this question yesterday in my stories. Everybody said no, but I feel somebody has to have seen this. Has anybody seen any of the Tales of Arcadia shows or movies that are on Netflix right now? There is a series of shows on Netflix under the name Tales of Arcadia, but it's like Tales of Arcadia Troll Hunters, Tales of Arcadia. Oh, you said yes, Derek? Okay, awesome. Okay, so Derek has seen it. Tales of Arcadia, Three Below, there's a space alien one, and then there's one with wizards, and then there's a final movie, right? So last week I got totally enthralled with the series. Derek, did you watch the whole thing? Let me know if you watched the whole thing, Derek. Okay. Now, at the end of or in the last part of the series, which is it's called Rise of the Titans, right? There are a couple of elements that are, oh, you saw Troll Hunter? Okay. There are a couple of elements that I think are, hey, that Brandon guy, were very similar to a movie that I had seen. If you have seen Doctor Strange, the first Doctor Strange, give me, hey Margaret, give me some type of magic emoji, okay? Now, if you saw, look, there's going to be some spoilers here. If you don't want the spoilers, I don't know, cover your ears. But in Doctor Strange, the point of that movie was that was how Doctor Strange got, hey Kels Butter, got the Time Stone, right? And if you watched Doctor Strange, hey Nessie Time, you also saw that when they were, working, I don't know what you call those people, the monks that he was with, when they were doing, their dimensional things, there were these lights that would show up in geometric forms, right? You got to set your notification, Kels Butter. And I only do them once a week now. So yeah, so if you know what I'm talking about in Doctor Strange, give me a thumbs up. We're talking about in Doctor Strange the Time Stone, and then the designs that the what do you call them? The sorcerers would make. Okay, all right. Anyway, so I watched. Thank you, that Brenda guy. So I watched Tales of Arcadia, and I got to the last movie, and there were some very similar elements in Rise of the Titans, which is the last installment of Tales of Arcadia. There is a time stone that they are all looking after, and the wizards who are in the series, when they do their magic, it's cool, Derek. When they do their magic, it's purple, but it looks very much like the designs that they make in Doctor Strange. Now, there was an article about this where they brought it up and they showed the similarities. There's no lawsuit right now. Nobody's planning on suing anybody, but I wanted to ask you guys, do you think that those elements are enough for Disney or Marvel to have a cause of action against Netflix? Is having a time stone and a similar pattern of magical shapes, would that be enough for copyright infringement? What do you think? Derek Bailey is saying yes. Does anybody disagree or agree with Derek? If you think that so I want to know, do you think the time stone and the magic designs are those enough for a cause of copyright infringement? Let me know what you guys think. Derek has already said yes. I've got some people here on Instagram. That Brandon guy said no. Okay. Anybody else? We got 3 more people on Instagram. Yeah. If you're not driving, don't answer. But if you are driving, don't answer. But if you're not driving, join in the conversation, because this is what the law boils down to. It's having these arguments back and forth to figure out what is the most logical answer. Okay. So Derek thinks that those 2 elements, having a time stone and having the same kind of magical shapes, is enough for copyright infringement, and that Brandon guy says no. So like I said, there is no cause of action for this right now. So, but I would be interested to see if somewhere down the line Disney maybe comes after or tries to come after Netflix. Kelsberger said, I know nothing about okay. Okay. All right. It's cool. But if you get a chance, guys, watch Doctor Strange from the Marvel series, and then at least watch the last installment of Tales of Arcadia. It's called Rise of the Titans, okay? And I want you to see the similarities. Okay. Oh, it's okay, Margaret. You got here right on time, girl. All right. Our next story of the evening. How many of y'all are watching the Olympics? If you're watching the Olympics, please give me some type of Olympic emoji. If you're not, just say no. I asked this question in my stories, and I think only one person said they're watching the Olympics. So if you're watching the Olympics, let me know. Derek Bailey said he's boycotting the Olympics. Why are you boycotting the Olympics? Kels Butter said no, she's not watching. Okay, I mean, you're not the only one. I'm not watching. Zephyrina said I was at first, but life got busy. Brandon guy said it would all be contingent on the backstory, but no. Okay, so you're talking about the previous story? Okay. All right, so not a lot of us are watching the Olympics right now, including me. Honestly, One True Empress said occasionally. Margaret Massey said watch some skating. Thank you for saying you watch skating, because that is what our story is about. But yeah, the Olympics, I mean, the Winter Olympics aren't as well viewed as the Summer Olympics, right? But there are some very popular popular events like the skating, right? There's been a whole controversy because of one of the skaters. They said they found out she was doping, and they let her skate anyway. But they played my girl Sha'Carri. I'm just kidding. Anyway, kind of kidding, but not. Anyway, as you know, if you've ever watched, Olympic skating, they skate to music, right? They always have a song in the background. Well, you may not know, but they can't just play those songs. You have to get permission to use these songs because there is copyright attached, right? And these 2 skaters, as Zephrina said, the skating's her favorite part. These 2 skaters, by the name of Brandon Fraser and Alexa Nearim, they skated to a song called House of the Rising Sun, right? Now, House of the Rising Sun, it is a song that has been recorded many times, but a specific group called Heavy Young Heathrows, they specifically used their version of House of the Rising Sun. House of the Rising Sun is saying, look, our version of this song is like iconic, and nobody reached out to us to get permission for to use our version, and they didn't even put our name on the screen. You know how they put the song that the skaters are skating to on the screen. So they want damages. They said the coaches could have contacted them, the networks, the team. Nobody contacted them. So they want their shillings, all right? So I want to know from you guys, do you think that this is just kind of being petty? Or do they, is this a legitimate well, it is a legitimate claim, but do you think, they are right to do this? Or, are they just being petty, right? Or, is it like, look, the music industry is hard. You got to go for every penny you got. What do you guys think about that? Because Heavy Young Heat throws, they're like, we want these two skaters to run us some coin. Derek said, pay them. Derek said, pay them. Does anybody disagree with that? Let me know what y'all think. Does anybody disagree with that? Nessie Time said they're right. Margaret said they're right. They need to get paid. Okay, so y'all are like, I don't care if it's the Olympics, whatever. Bump, national pride. Run them their coins. And I feel you. I feel you. Kels Butter said, no, not petty, because everybody should get what they deserve when it comes to their work. I love it, guys. This is why your intellectual property is important, so you can get each and every coin that you are owed. Particularly if you are an artist, it's really easy for people to kind of bypass you and not give you your due. So it's really important that you, especially if you are a creative, to protect your work. Okay, all right, and third story before we go on a little break. Zephyrina said, yes, show them the money. Okay, y'all want them all to get paid. I like that. Okay, so have you guys ever gone to your state website to look up information like, who owns what house, who was born, who died, like old records? Have you ever gone on your state's website to look up old records, or your state's library even? What do you think? Zephyrina said yes. Zephyrina, Derek said tax assessor. Okay. When you guys went to look up this information, right? Did you have to pay money, or was it something that you could just access? Let me know. Kels Butter said she has. If you if you have done it, if you had to pay, let me know what state you were in. Derek Bailey said no, it's free. Is it? Okay. Anybody else? You did it online and you had to pay. What state was that in, Zephyrina? Let me know. Why I'm asking you these questions is because some people feel like records like this, Colorado, these kind of records, they don't have copyrights because they're usually very old. They try to charge you in California. Well, most states don't charge you for, old records. So if you're looking at rolls of, city people who lived there, I don't know how much it costs, but in New York City, New York is one of the few, I guess, states that charges their citizens, or charges whoever is looking for the information, to look up old records. And currently there is and she calls herself an archival archivist. Her name is Brooke Gans, okay? She basically found a bunch of old records that New York City was trying to put behind a paywall, and she is putting them online for free. Now, these documents, again, they're not protected by copyright, and some of them, they're older than the country itself. They're older than the United States, so they predate, any of that law. And Brooke is like, look, this is information for the public. It should be free. It should be available to everybody. So she got these files and she's putting them on the internet. Meanwhile, New York was using it as a way to generate revenue. Do you think that Brooke Gans did the right thing? Was she right to put this information in the public, or should she have respected, New York City's revenue generating activity? Because they do have to organize the information, they have to upload it. Shouldn't they get something for their troubles? Derek Bailey saying yes. Can you expand on you're saying yes, she was right, or let me know what you're saying. What do you guys think over here on Instagram? Do you think that Brooke Gans did the right thing by essentially liberating these records? Margaret Massey asks, who is she again? She is an archival activist. Basically, she is very passionate about making sure that people can get access to documents. Derek Bailey said she was right to put them on blast. Okay. Yeah, I think she was right as well. Again, this is information that New York did not create. These are records that they're public information, and you shouldn't be, especially information like this that is just so basic, and you already know things are hard. Why are you putting this behind a paywall when most other states do not? Zephyrina said, I think she was right. Kels Butter said, yeah, but what type of information is she trying to make public, especially since it's so old? It's like roles, like who was born and who died in this year and who owns what property. So it's not personal information. It's not anything that, would put people's business out there. That Brandon guy said state of New York got caught selling free samples. Are you serious? Margaret said, yes, she was right. Okay, so it seems like everybody is in favor of Brooke Gans liberating these records. I'm sure New York City is not happy about this, but the thing is, New York City can't do anything about it because why? Why can't New York City do anything about it? Derek Bailey said, would that fall under the Freedom of Information Act? I think Freedom of Information Act applies to federal documents. Yes. What was my question? Huh? Okay, so we said, all right. So my question was, why can't New York fight this? Why can't New York do anything to Brooke after she has liberated these documents? What don't they have? What don't they have? What don't they have? Because they don't own the information. Right, and what would they need to own the information? What would they need? What is that protection, that intellectual property protection? Exactly. Thank you, that Brandon guy. They don't have a copyright. These documents have no copyright on them, so you have no say over what happens to them. They are free, they are public domain. Yes, Derek, copyright. Okay. All right. So good discussion, guys. We're gonna take a little breather to reset. If you came in a little bit late, you are watching NPL or listening to NPL Legal Dish. This is my Monday broadcast where I teach business and legal concepts using pop culture and celebrity news. If you are in the startup phase of your business and you need some guidance to get through that formation process, getting the articles of incorporation, getting your DUNS number so you can establish business credit, making sure you have contracts, all that stuff, I want to help you. I'm a licensed attorney with a passion for helping entrepreneurs. To go to linktr.ee/npl consulting firm and book yourself a free 15-minute consultation today if you're a first-time client. All right? Okay, next story that we are talking about hold on. Kels Butter said, sounds like they're just trying to milk the public by any means necessary. Yeah, pretty much. Because if Brandon's telling me they're selling free samples, yeah, they're exactly selling free information. They are selling information that should be free to the public. All right. Okay. Next story. We have not talked about them in a while. One of the Margaret said, so you only do, yeah, I only do one day now, Margaret, and I do it for a longer time because I just, my schedule is so busy, I can't do 3 days a week anymore. Okay. All right. Our next story of the evening. We've not talked about anyone from the Kardashian family in a long time. This is having to do with, well, one of the Jenners, but Kardashian Jenner. Um, we know the Kardashians, they will put their name on anything. Kendall Jenner, even though I feel like she's not as in the mix as her other sisters, you know, she's getting to the money too. And Kendall Jenner decided to do that by starting her own tequila brand. And I asked you guys when I today in my stories, I asked you guys what type of tequila you liked. People said Casamigos. People said Don Julio. Derek said he doesn't drink tequila. Um, my tequilas, I like 1800. I'll do a Don Julio. Cause anything, I don't do cheap tequila. That's what I don't do. Cheap tequila. Okay. Anyway, so Kendall Jenner, she decided to start her own tequila brand that she is calling 818 Spirits. 818 Spirits, okay? And this company called Clip Bandits is suing her because they're saying that she basically copied their entire aesthetic for their 512 tequila. 512 tequila. So it's so Clip Bandits is basically saying Kendall Jenner, she is just copying our brand. Now, if you went through my stories, I posted a picture of the two tequila brands, and I asked you if it was too close for comfort. It was pretty close in the voting, so I want to ask you guys here, if you need to take a second to go look at the story to see the 818 versus the 512 tequila, take a look, and then I want you to come back here and tell me, do you think that there is a possibility of confusion between these two brands of tequila based on the design? Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Hey, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Hey. What do you think? Do you think that 512 tequila and 818 spirits is the design of the bottle similar? Derek Bailey said, I didn't think so. Okay, so Derek didn't think that there was a they looked that much alike. Does anybody disagree? I actually, when I saw it, like I felt like it was kind of a ripoff. All they did was switch, where the number was. But that's to me. I felt like the design, the color scheme. I thought that it was. I thought that they looked similar. That Brandon guy, you said you don't see it. You say you don't see it. Margaret thinks that they look similar. Okay, so we've got two people who say no and two people who say yes. Margaret, it's me and you. It's girl power against, against Brandon and Derek. Does anybody want to break the tie? Anybody want to break the tie? Hey, hey. Don't mind me. I'm just being silly. Anyway, it seems like we're pretty evenly divided here as well. So I don't know what's going to happen. They literally just filed this trademark infringement, but we'll have to see if Kendall Jenner or Kendall Jenner's attorneys, I should say, can prove that the designs of the bottles are not similar, that there won't be confusion. I have to say, if I saw them in a liquor store on the same shelf next to each other, I might think that they were related, or I might mix them up, but that's just me. So we will wait and see what the outcome of that is, okay? All right, that Brandon guy said it doesn't look similar. We're evenly divided. Me and Margaret said yes. Derek and Brandon said no. So I guess the courts will have to decide. Okay. All right. Also, quick tidbit. Have you ever looked at your clothes, like the tag on your clothes, and you see, where it's made? If you have ever seen your tag on your clothes says Hecho in Mexico, give me a Mexican flag emoji. If you've ever had and it says Hecho in Mexico with like an eagle logo, if you have ever seen that on your clothes, if you ever looked at the tag, give me a Mexican flag emoji. Okay. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I encourage you to look at your clothes. When you have some time and look at the tags, when you look at the tag, it will tell you where your garment was made. Okay. And if you ever see the Hecho in Mexico logo, hello C4C Global, I want you to know that phrase, that design, that is a logo that is owned by the Mexican government. So if you ever have a garment that says it's made in Mexico and it doesn't have that eagle design with it, that means it's not sanctioned by the government, because there is a specific design they have for products that are coming out of Mexico. So again, this is how intellectual property can empower you, because this is how the Mexican government is, trying to ensure that their products, that the products that leave their company are quality. So just, take a look at your clothes, see if you have anything that says it's made in Mexico, and see if they have that, the eagle design on it. Okay. Whew. All right. Next story that we are talking about. Do you guys, okay, my veterans here, do you guys remember when we talked about the woman who was suing Apple for the skin color emojis? If any of you were there for that, give me a star emoji, because you are a star viewer, because you've been with me for a minute. If you remember the story that we talked about, there is a woman. Her company is called Cub Club Investment LLC. She made these skin color emojis, and in 2014 she had some talks with Apple about collaborating with them. Apple decided not to work with her, and then soon after that, Apple came out with their own skin color emojis, and she sued them for copyright infringement. Okay. So they've been going back and forth in the courts over this, and they finally came to a decision. They said Apple has actually won this. The court said, Margaret says she vaguely remembers. The court said Apple didn't do anything wrong. Their skin color emojis, they don't have the same shape or shades as the other as the other business. And the court said at most what Apple is guilty of is stealing an idea. And I tell you guys this all the time. You cannot protect an idea. It must be expressed, right? So the idea of skin color emojis is not something that you can keep from other people. Now, what you can protect is how your emojis look. And her emojis and Apple's emojis, it was found that they were completely different. So Apple won that case against Cub Club Investment LLC. Okay. All right. Yeah, that was another quick one. Okay. I'm looking. I don't think I'm going to do this story. It's kind of dry. We'll just put a star next to it. All right. Next story. Have you guys, thank you, Kels Butter, for the star. If you guys have ever heard of the game Magic the Gathering, give me a magic wand. If you have ever heard of Magic the Gathering, give me a magic wand emoji. Okay. Derek Bailey said no. I think Magic the Gathering, I've never played it, but from what I can put together, it's like Dungeons and Dragons. There's like dice and cards and things like that. Anyway, they have a very, loyal following. And, they like to experiment with the game. Uh, well, you had there was a group of Magic the Gathering enthusiasts. They wanted to create digital versions of the Magic the Gathering cards and mint them as NFTs so that, they could play online and sell them, right? Do you guys see what the problem is with that? What is the problem with these people who like to play this game, um, turning these cards into NFTs? What do you think is the problem? So that they can play the game online. That Brendan guy said heard of it, never played it. What do you guys think? Copyrighted material, absolutely. They were Magic the Gathering went and knocked on the door and said, "Girl, what do you think is happening here?" They tried to get around it. They basically said the only way that you could make the NFT was if you had purchased the physical card and you owned it and you had it. Exactly, Margaret. They don't have permission, but that does not save you. There is something called reproduction rights. When you purchase let's say you purchase a book, right? That is your book. You cannot then take that book, make copies of it, and sell it because you are not a distributor of that book. So that is essentially what these fans of Magic the Gathering were trying to do. So the creators of that game, who are called Wizards of the Coast, sent them a nice little cease and desist and said, "Girl, you're not going to win." Now, these people, they still think that they can, they've got a shot. They're going to try and, go to the court. But I would be surprised if they make it past preliminary motions. So, yeah. So, just because you purchased something doesn't mean you can do whatever you want with it. Especially if it's copyrighted material, you cannot then turn it into something that you can sell, in the marketplace. All right? Okay. So we are done with that. All right, next story. Guys, I'm interested to see how many of y'all would be interested in this. I asked this question in my stories. I asked you guys, would you be okay or feel comfortable with eating food that a robot prepared? When I looked at the poll in my stories, the no's had 60%, the yeses had 40%. But I want to ask you guys here directly right now. Would you be comfortable eating food that a robot prepared? Okay. Now, while you give me those answers, I want to let you know that why I'm asking you this is that not too long ago, DoorDash purchased a robotics company, right? And these robots were called Chowbotics. Kels Butter said no, she doesn't want robot prepared foods. These robots were called Chowbotics. They are 3x3 robots that prepare bowl meals, so like salads and cereal. Very simple stuff, right? So they bought the company that made these robots. Since then, DoorDash has filed trademarks for Dash Biotics and Dash to Go, which are automation machines, meaning that they are considering getting into, having their own food prep robots. And they have also filed trademarks for Tex Mess and Queso Your Way, which are going to be virtual food brands where, they're going to be brands where they're completely robot made. Derek Bailey said no. Margaret said no. That Brandon guy said it's inevitable. Okay. Well, Yeah, and not only inevitable, it's happening. DoorDash has filed these trademarks already. Now they haven't been accepted. Who knows what's going to happen? But DoorDash is looking into getting, their own kind of food. So they're not just going to be delivering food from other brands. They're going to have their own brands of food that you can order that will be prepared by their DoorDash robots. Does anybody think that that is a good idea? How many of us have seen Terminator? Skynet is real. No, but for real, like, would you guys be comfortable eating a brand of food that human hands haven't touched? It's been totally prepared by robots. What do you guys think? That branding guy says it's inevitable. C4C Global said it may be more sanitary than humans preparing our food. You might be right. You right, C4C Global. Okay. All right. All right. Any other comments? I don't know how I'd feel. Even Star Trek had 3D printed food and drink. It's coming. Was it 3D printed? You can't eat 3D printing, can you? Oh no, you're the techie. Let me know. Okay. Quick reset. Just to remind you, you're watching NPL Legal Dish. This is my Monday broadcast where I teach business and legal concepts using pop culture and celebrity news. This month we are focusing on getting our numbers, EIN numbers, DUNS numbers, your SAM number. If you don't have your DUNS number, if you're planning on, getting your stuff into big box stores, you're not going to be able to because you need a DUNS number. If you want to start establishing business credit, you need a DUNS number. I've got a tutorial that will teach you how to apply for your DUNS number. Go to linktr.ee/npl consulting firm and grab yours today. Okay? All right. Our next story. Now, we all know that the music industry has changed. How many of y'all had LimeWire, Napster, all of those peer-to-peer sharing, basically these violators of intellectual property? How many of y'all were, ripping, or whatever you call it? What do they call it? How many of y'all were stealing music? That's what we were doing, okay? Look, I did it, okay? Jarek said all of them. I had LimeWire. I had all of them, okay? Look, I was a broke college student. I did not have money for no CDs. But now that I know better, I do better, right? But the way music is consumed now has has changed, right? So you have subscription services that a lot of people are using, but some people just don't want to pay for anything, right? So you still have some of these streaming and ripping sites, and recently the RIAA, CDs are Rictos, statute of limitations. Recently, the RIAA, they had filed a lawsuit. Derek said, yes, I have consumed those services. They filed a lawsuit against a Russian guy named Tofig Kurbanov. He operated a website called youtube-mp3.org, and it was basically a website where you could download music and whatever that was ripped off of YouTube, okay? So they sued this guy, and they for copyright infringement, as they rightly should, and they won a judgment. Now this was not just the IRAA; it was them plus dozens of record labels. They won a judgment of $82.9 million against this Russian gentleman. So here's the only problem. Tofik said, what are you going to do about it? I'm 5,000 miles away. You ain't going to come take me out my house. So he has basically, I guess he started responding to the charges. And then when he realized, y'all ain't coming to get me. So he's just been ignoring them and going about his business. So while they have this $83 million judgment against him, they're probably not going to get any of it, because how are they going to get it from him? Are they going to, I don't know, take a black ops team and drop into Russia? Anyway, we got our own problems with Russia. Anyway, Tofig basically said, I'm 5,000 miles away. What are you going to do about it? Yes, I'm stealing the music. You're not going to stop me, right? So this goes to show, it's just an example that while you may get the legal victory, you may not always get the monetary victory that you want. So depending on what, is being infringed upon, you have to decide for yourself. Is this about the principle of them stealing it, or is it about the money? Okay? Because sometimes that might affect whether you want to go forward with litigation. Okay. All right, and we have come to, well, maybe our final story of the evening. Yeah, our final story, then we're going to do a little bit of Q&A. Okay. I asked you guys in my stories, everybody in there said no, but does anybody here watching have a Google Nest? A Google Nest. Not Alexa, not any of those other things. If you have a Google Nest, give me a Nest emoji. I do not have a Google Nest. I don't want that Babylon ting in my house. I do not want machines listening to me any more than they do. They've got my phone. They've got my computer. What else do you need from me? I can get up and turn on my own music, right? Okay, so Brandon doesn't have a Google Nest. Derek said no. All right. Well, for those of you who might have been thinking about getting one, I mean, Google might need the money because they currently have to pay a company. Margaret said no. Kel said no. Jarek said I ain't rocking with it. Me neither. Google might need a couple dollars. So if you were considering getting a home, whatever, I don't know what they're called, a smart home device, maybe check them out. Google has to pay this company called EcoFactor $20 million because they infringed their patent for the Nest. In building the Nest, they built these ones that were eco-conscious or I don't know, eco-friendly, and they violated the patent of this company that I've never heard of, EcoFactor, right? So now EcoFactor is getting a nice $20 million check from Google. This is why you want to make sure that your stuff is protected, be they trademark, copyright, patent, because you never know when that big payday might come in because somebody decided to be lazy. So yeah, I won't be getting a Google Nest because the government already has my cell phone. Leave me alone. But but the thing is, even though Google has to pay this company $20 million, they're still going to be allowed to sell the rest of their inventory of these eco-friendly home whatever devices. Okay, so usually when you have these cases where there's a judgment against someone, they are prohibited from selling the product that's infringing, and usually have to destroy it. But this is a little different because Google Nest is going to be allowed to finish selling these products. So I don't know, maybe they'll be on sale or something. Okay. All right, but those were the stories that I wanted to share with you. I think we have time for a little bit of Q&A if you guys have any questions for me. Derek said that's like $20 to Google. Okay. Good for them. Must be nice. But we are going to go into Q&A now. If you guys have any questions on the stories that we covered. We talked about Tales of Arcadia versus Doctor Strange. We talked about the skaters violating copyright law. We talked about New York City, trying to sell free information. Kendall Jenner ripping off a tequila brand made in Mexico. Apple winning their skin emoji suit. Magic the Gathering. DoorDash's robotic food. The RIAA against this Russian guy, and Google Nest. So if you have questions on any of those stories, now is your time to ask. Or if you have questions on business formation in general, this month we're focusing on numbers, EIN numbers, DUNS numbers, the SAM number. If you're interested in those, especially if you're a federal contractor, now is your time to ask. If you have questions about business entities, about contracts, about trademarks, Now is your time to ask. We have one. Kels Butter said, if you have something copyrighted, is there a time limit on that thing? Yes, copyrights go for like the life of the author. Well, it depends on the item. If it's like a book, it's the life of the author plus 75 years. Music is a little different. It depends on how the rights are going. Um, but depending on what you're copywriting, it may have a limit, especially music wise. But if you're doing like a book or a movie or something like that, usually after a while those copyrights expire. But it's a long time. Okay. All right, good question. Do we have any more questions? If you have some, I'll give you some time to put them in the comment box. We'll be back next week with more stories. If you want me to talk about anything, please send it to me. You know I love when you send me the stories. Make sure that you guys are taking care of yourselves. Uh, what's going on? I'm trying to think what's going on. I can't think of any more announcements, but we'll be back here next week. And thank you guys for hanging out with me. This is the reason why I continue to do this show, is because I get this engagement and it really keeps me going. So I appreciate you guys a lot. Okay. So have a wonderful night and I will see you next week. Bye. Dun, 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 dun. How do I end this? Oh crap. Help. Stop.